The doctor slipped me a folded piece of paper under the table while checking my pulse. His eyes darted toward the door where my husband was waiting. He squeezed my hand hard, too hard, and whispered a single word, "Read it later." I smiled weakly, put the paper in my pocket, and walked out to meet the man I had loved for 30 years. My husband, Richard, kissed my forehead. "What did he say, darling? Is it just old age?" "Just stress," I lied. But in the taxi ride home, while Richard looked out the window, I unfolded the note. My blood turned to ice. It didn't say I was sick. It didn't say I needed rest. It said, "Your blood tests show high levels of arsenic. You are being poisoned. Don't go home. Go to the police." My name is Martha, and I am 65 years old. For the last 6 months, I thought I was losing my mind. I was forgetting things. My hands shook. I was constantly nauseous. My husband, Richard, told everyone it was early onset dementia. He was the perfect doting husband, making me special herbal teas every night, managing my finances, and isolating me from my friends for my own good. But that note changed everything. I wasn't sick. I was being murdered. Slowly. By the person I trusted most in the world. I sat in the passenger seat, my heart hammering against my ribs. I looked at Richard. He was humming a tune, his hand resting on my knee. The same hand that had likely spiked my tea that morning. "Are you okay, Martha?" he asked, glancing at me. "You look pale." "I'm fine," I managed to say. "Just tired." "Don't worry," he smiled. "I'll make you your special tea when we get home. It'll help you sleep." Sleep. He meant die. I knew I couldn't go home. If I drank that tea tonight, I might not wake up. But if I panicked, if I showed him the note, he might finish the job right there in the car. I had to be smarter. I had to be the Martha he didn't know existed. "Richard," I said suddenly, "pull over at the pharmacy. Dr. Evans prescribed a new vitamin. He said I need to start it immediately." Richard frowned. "I didn't see him give you a prescription." "He sent it electronically," I lied smoothly. "Please, Richard, I feel terrible." He sighed but pulled into the Walgreens parking lot. "Stay here. I'll get it for you." "No," I said too quickly. I softened my voice. "I need to use the restroom, dear. I'll go." He hesitated, watching me with those cold, calculating eyes. "5 minutes, Martha, or I'm coming in." I grabbed my purse and walked into the store as calmly as I could. The moment the automatic doors closed behind me, I ran. I didn't go to the pharmacy counter. I went straight out the back emergency exit. I hailed a cab in the alleyway. "The Grand Hotel," I said, my voice trembling. "And please, hurry." I checked into a room under my maiden name. I locked the door, pushed a chair against it, and collapsed on the bed. I took out my phone, 15 missed calls from hubby, then a text. "Where are you? I'm worried. Come home. The tea is ready." I shivered. I needed help. But who could I trust? My family thought I was senile because Richard had been telling them stories for months. I realized I had one advantage. Richard thought I was a confused, sick old woman. He didn't know that before I retired, I wasn't just a housewife, I was a forensic accountant. And if he was killing me, it was for one reason: money. The next morning, I didn't go to the police yet. I knew Richard. He was charming. He would tell them I was having an episode. I needed hard proof. I called my old friend Saul, a private investigator I used to work with. "Martha," he sounded shocked. "Richard told us you were in a care facility. He said you didn't recognize anyone anymore." "He lied, Saul," I said. "He's poisoning me. I need you to find out why." Saul didn't ask questions. He went to work. 2 days later, we met in a quiet diner. Saul slid a folder across the table. "It's bad, Martha," he said. I opened the file. Richard wasn't just gambling. He had a second family, a woman named Jessica, 30 years younger, and a 2-year-old son living in a condo uptown, a condo paid for with my savings. He's broke, Saul explained. He drained his own accounts. Now he's trying to access your trust fund, but he can only get it if you die, or if you are declared mentally incompetent. The puzzle pieces clicked into place. The poison wasn't meant to kill me instantly. It was meant to mimic dementia symptoms so he could get power of attorney. Or if that failed, to kill me and make it look like natural causes. I felt a rage I had never known. I had supported this man for decades. I had loved him, and he was feeding me arsenic while planning a future with his mistress. "What do you want to do?" Saul asked. "Go to the cops?" "Not yet," I said, a cold smile forming on my lips. "He wants to declare me incompetent? He wants my money. Let's give him a show." I remembered that Richard was planning a birthday party for me that weekend. He had invited all our friends and family. I knew his plan. He wanted to showcase my deteriorating condition to everyone, to build witnesses for his story. "I'm going to crash my own party," I told Saul. Saturday night arrived. I knew Richard would be playing the grieving husband. I hired a makeup artist to cover the dark circles under my eyes. I put on my best red dress, the one Richard said was too bold for a woman my age. I put the doctor's toxicology report in my purse. I took a taxi to my own house. The windows were glowing. I could see guests inside. I used my key to enter the back door quietly. I stood in the hallway shadows, listening. Richard was making a toast. "To my dear Martha," he was saying, his voice cracking with fake emotion. "It breaks my heart that she isn't here tonight. Her mind, it's just gone. She wandered off 3 days ago. We're praying the police find her, but we have to prepare for the worst." The guests murmured sympathetically. Jessica, his mistress, was actually there, posing as a family friend comforting him. The audacity. I stepped into the light. "I haven't wandered off, Richard," I said, my voice clear and strong. The room went dead silent. Richard dropped his glass. It shattered on the floor. "Martha!" he stammered. You're confused. You need to sit down." He tried to rush toward me, probably to drag me away. "Stay back," I commanded. "I'm not confused. In fact, my mind has never been clearer since I stopped drinking your tea." A gasp went through the room. "What are you talking about?" Richard hissed, his eyes darting around. "She's having an episode, everyone. Please ignore her." "Is this an episode?" I pulled the toxicology report from my purse and held it up. "This is a report from Dr. Evans. It confirms that for the past 6 months, I have been ingesting high doses of arsenic." I looked at the guests. "And since Richard is the only one who prepares my food and drink, well, you do the math. She's crazy." Richard yelled, his face turning red. "That's a fake document." "Is it?" I asked. "And is the bank transfer to Jessica Miller for $50,000 also fake? Is the lease on the uptown condo in your name also fake?" I threw the photos Saul had taken onto the dining table. Photos of Richard, Jessica, and their child. The guests swarmed the table. My sister picked up a photo and looked at Richard with disgust. "You monster," she whispered. Richard looked at Jessica. Jessica looked at the door, realizing the game was up. She tried to run, but Saul, who was waiting by the entrance, blocked her path. "Police are on their way," Saul announced. Richard tried to beg. He fell to his knees, crying, saying it was a mistake, that he was desperate. "I did it for us, Martha," he sobbed. "I got in too deep with debts." "No, Richard," I said, looking down at him. "You did it for yourself. You thought I was just a weak old woman. You forgot that I was the one who built our fortune, and I am the one who will keep it." The police arrived minutes later. They found the rat poison hidden in the garage, exactly where Saul said it would be. Richard was arrested for attempted murder and fraud. Jessica was arrested as an accomplice. It's been 6 months since that night. My health is returning. The tremors are gone. The fog has lifted. I sold the house. I couldn't live there anymore. I bought a villa in Italy, something I always wanted to do, but Richard said was a waste of money. I learned a hard lesson. Sometimes the person holding your hand is the one holding you back, or worse, the one holding the poison. But I also learned that I am stronger than I thought. They tried to erase me. Instead, they reminded me of who I really am. My name is Martha. I survived, and I have never felt more alive. If you suspect something is wrong in your relationship, trust your gut. It might just save your life. If this story gave you chills, please hit that like button and subscribe to What Martha Knew. And tell me in the comments, would you have confronted him publicly like I did, or would you have gone straight to the police? See you in the next story.